Good evening, everybody. This is the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, and welcome to another episode of the Between the Ropes. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast tonight is welcome a man from Prince Edward Island, Canada. He is the owner of Island Pro Wrestling, IPW. Please give it up for Justin Summers.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, man. It's been a minute. It's been in the works, and it's finally here, and we can talk about IPW, Island Pro Wrestling. Wrestling in Canada. I talked to a lot of people in the States, but I never talked to a wrestling promotion in Canada. So,
well, I'm happy that I get to be a part of your Canadian debut on the algorithm up here.
There you go. There you go. So, I can't wait to talk about you. I can't wait to hear about your promotion. But I'm going to start off with probably you've heard this question before. What first got you into pro wrestling, like as a fan?
Yeah, Undertaker, 100% The Undertaker. The Dead Man, whenever I first seen him as a little 4-year-old child, I was just sold. Like, the whole, creepiness to it, the, unknowing, the Dead Man, just that cool gimmick that he had, I was sold right away. And I mean, even moving forward after discovering The Undertaker, I get to see Kane, Mankind's, even Sting, WCW. I liked all that dark character persona stuff, and that just sunk its claws into me and had me hooked.
Wow. So as a kid growing up, you named some legends. I mean, Undertaker, Mankind, Kane, my boy Sting. I love that guy. I met him last June. Love it. Do you think the product we got to watch when we were kids is a whole lot different, or a little bit different, or not different than the product we get to watch today?
It is a whole lot different for a multitude of reasons. A, the production, B, the scheduling, C, the character development. Everything has kind of changed since, I don't know, I kind of came up through the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, everybody was kind of Kurt Angle. They were all kind of coming to light then. And it was super exciting. It kind of had that real edgy vibe to it and stuff like that. And then for a while, it just kind of pandered off. They did the John Cena thing and got into more different storylines. They had Carlito. IPW actually had Carlito up here in Prince Edward Island the year that I bought the company, before I bought the company. But nowadays they're not so old school in their marketing and advertisement. They're taking advantage of new age technology. They're doing 2-day WrestleMania events now. So the product has grown so much that it's evolved into something different. That's why with Island Pro Wrestling, I kind of want to have that Attitude Era vibe to the company. And I had actually spoken to another gentleman on a podcast in Scotland, and we were saying, the Attitude Era was so great. Why don't we see things like that again? Would people still like it? And there's things that may not fly like they used to, just because of the way that the world has evolved. But I think that if a promotion was to advertise an Attitude Era, that fans would latch onto it again, as long as they kept it within a modern tone.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct. And I'd love to see that in the independent scene, because I fell in love with independent wrestling probably 3 years ago, and I'm going to give a shout out to my boys, Extreme Impact Wrestling, XIW.
Yeah, Extreme Impact. I'm aware of them.
Adrian Whisper, Damian Wayne, John Saxon, Jackson Slade, all those dudes, man, they got me hooked. They took me to a different level in wrestling. Everybody talks pro wrestling. Everybody talks WWE. Everybody talks AEW. Everybody talks whatever. I'm the guy that wants to give the independents a platform to share their story. Like we talked there about 2 days ago. I cannot wait till, I think you said September or October or something. After the summer, I cannot wait to do a reaction to one of your events, man. I'm super stoked. I'm really stoked because I seen somebody on the card for this weekend, I believe. I cannot believe, I wish I was there. I love the man, August Artois.
Oh my God.
I am so
I got to start by making a public statement that August has definitely not hurt my feelings while we've been dealing with each other.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that
I am.
guy. That guy's a heel. I'm really looking forward to meeting him and catching him in the flesh because
Wow.
everything that we've been chatting about and just seeing the work that he's putting into his career in wrestling, it's really inspiring because you don't see a lot of people really putting the time and effort into reaching as many fans and promotions and not even just in his local network, but over in UK. Like we have him coming up for his Canadian debut this weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's exciting. And even his opponent that he's going against, Wesley Pipes. Those two guys have some previous history from working another promotion in Maine back in the old IPW Classic era,
Okay.
where Wesley Pipes actually defended the heavyweight title against August Artois in his rookie year.
I can say, fans of IPW, Island Pro Wrestling, you all will not be disappointed. This
Yeah.
dude is off the charts, man. This guy is something else. I love him. He came on the show and it was like, he's like a loose cat, not a loose cat. He's like a not afraid to say how he wants to say it.
Yeah.
And then he backs it up in the ring, and it's just he's a class act. Some don't think so. Some would disagree with me. He's one of my friends.
He checks all those boxes off. Does he have the in-ring talent? Check. Does he have the promo talent? Check. Is he putting in the marketing work? Check.
Yeah.
When we talk about I continuously say it's Island Pro Wrestling, not Island Amateur Wrestling. So we want to be working with pros, and he's checking off all the boxes for a pro.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what inspired? Because you talked to me in chat that you bought this dying company, you bought this promotion, and you wanted to revamp it for the area that you live in. So, what inspired you to go out and buy or take over a company that was closed?
Honest to God, man, I looked at my 9-year-old son and I was like, how cool would it be for his old man to own a wrestling promotion? So, I've done a lot of promoting in the past, mostly in like the rock and heavy metal world, putting on concerts and doing tour management and booking tours for bands and stuff. So there's like a lot of transferable traits that we can apply to wrestling. But then there's all the new stuff that I'm learning along the way here too. So, but I mean, to answer your question point blank, it was my kid. I was like, how cool would it be for him? And whenever I was approached about buying the company, I called my best buddy Chris. Shout out to Chris Frizzle. And I was like, dude, you want to buy a fucking wrestling promotion? And he was just like, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah. So we bought it. And then we agreed that to do this appropriately and have fun while doing it, we would need a board of directors to help us. So we sold off some ownership of the company to 5 other individuals. Huh? And we built a board of directors that every Sunday we had a 2-hour call today. But we get together, bounce ideas off each other, make sure everything's flowing appropriately, and those board of directors all have like niche little skill sets that we can apply to help our promotion and kind of divide and conquer.
Absolutely, and I have Austin Aries is one of my good friends. He's been on the podcast a couple times, and he called me up about October and said, I've been thinking, you do the podcast, but why don't you run your own show? And I'm like, what? And I'm here to say, I say that to say this. I don't have the guts or the bravery that you do. So I applaud you for that bravery just to go out and do it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
He started talking to me about how much it would cost. And I'm like, nah, I don't have that. I can't, he was willing to help me do the booking and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I can't do that, man. It's just too much money. And from what I do, I don't have the time to do it. So here I am sitting behind the screen doing my podcast. I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, and the most expensive part of it all is the time because let's be real, we don't get into these hobbies to make money. We do it for passion. We do it for glory. It's not going to be the biggest moneymaker in the world, but we're going to have a great time and make a lot of memories while we're doing it.
And that's why I chose independent wrestling, because I know this podcast isn't going to make money. I know it's not. It's
Yeah.
that. It's and whatever it is. It's my self care. What
Yeah.
do I love to do? What keeps me sane? What gets me away from the foster kids for an hour?
Yeah.
It's
It's
this.
it's the you time. It's the digression. It's
Correct.
the passion release, and the euphoric feeling you get from the small world accomplishment, but it feels
100%.
like the biggest win in the world, right?
100%. 100% agree with that. So, how do you want IPW Island Pro Wrestling to differentiate from other promotions around you or even in the United States?
I mean, the biggest thing for us is to make sure that we're showcasing people appropriately. I mean, I'm not sure if you had time to check out any of our YouTube channel and see any of the highlights from our first event that we put on, but we really tried to up the ante and offer a really high end production. Um, we had, um, pyro, we had smoke geysers, we had lighting, we had great camera angles. So, I mean, really setting the stage for the talent to come in and do their professional part and perform, but make sure to showcase them in the proper light. And I mean, ultimately, like in a couple years or something, it would be great if IPW was, maybe recognized by WWE ID, and maybe they sent some scouts out to our show to see
Uh,
some talent that are performing at our events, because we're going to have the proper production behind them to kind of give them that glimpse of maybe what this guy would look like on the grander stage.
right. And I did. I watched while I was actually watching the Twitch, the show,
Nice.
and lighting absolutely amazing. The theatrics, the purple lighting, the ring, the even the view from the shot coming into the ring, and it's
Yeah.
so I can sit here and talk about things. I love the commentary. A
Yeah.
lot of people that put out shows don't have commentary, right?
Shout out to Les Caliper. He was our masked luchador commentator. Kind of a crazy story. After that event, nobody has been able to get in touch with that guy.
Really?
He's just like disappeared off the face of the earth. He came in, did this amazing commentating job on the show, and then disappeared. So
Is he gonna be here tomorrow? This coming up, this coming
we
weekend.
haven't been able to get in touch with him. So we lined up
Dang.
a special guest commentator in Jesse Goudreau.
Okay.
He's Indie Bald Ref on YouTube. He's got a pretty successful YouTube channel there. So he's
Okay.
coming in to help us out while we're trying to get in touch with Les Caliper. Because Les, if you're listening to this podcast, man, get in touch with us. We'd love to have you back.
Absolutely. And but that's one thing that XIW just added to their show is commentating.
Yeah.
So I think it just brings that to that next level. You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody can get a ring and just have the guys wrestle. But
Yeah.
then you bring that to that next level where you have commentary and you got lights and you got all that stuff.
And the one thing that I really loved about the commentary is that Les was so invested in the actual local talent that he did his homework, found out what their move sets were called. He was calling the moves by like the character names instead of like kind of the generic wrestling move name.
Right.
Instead of like a Razor's Edge, it was a Over the Peaks, and or
Right.
sorry, Mark of the Beast. But like he took the time and effort to get in there and research these people and kind of get to know their move sets, and he was able to showcase that to the audience on Twitch, and still keep storyline happening, which is very important to us as we want to build some storylines here.
Absolutely. Now you already answered the next question. It was, what's your long-term vision for the promotion? And I think you just said it. You want to be recognized with WWID. I think that's a huge goal. That's a huge mountain to climb. And I think
I mean we're 6 months into owning the promotion now. We're moving into our second event. It's going to take a little bit of time to gain some recognition and gain some respect in the industry for what we're trying to achieve. But we're not stupid to that fact. It's going to take some time. We're going to have to prove some people wrong and like keep showcasing that we're going to be building better and better every show.
Absolutely. How do you scout and recruit new talent for your shows? August Artois. How do you come about that?
So August Artois was actually recommended to me through a mutual friend, Aaron Bishop. Shout out to Aaron Bishop and his BWF podcast. Him and G. Patrick Condon, they host a show every Tuesday. And whenever we first bought the company, they took a risk on having us onto their podcast to kind of get to know what we were doing. And just while we were talking after we were done the podcast, Aaron was like, "I think you should really get in touch with August Artois because he seems to fit the mold for what you're looking for your next event."
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Matt Creed, right? He's the one.
Oh yeah,
AIWF man. He hooked you and I up.
yep,
So
100%.
I appreciate. I get a lot of talent from Matt.
And I got a lot of respect for Matt for everything that those guys are doing and trying to build a positive wrestling community. Like they got my support 100% of the way.
100%. What do you look for in a wrestler to decide who you want to pick to join your promotion?
Professionalism first and foremost. People who are going to help us promote them by providing us with content so that we can market them appropriately. Um, that's one thing I've struggled a little bit with over the first show was getting promos from wrestlers. We're putting a lot of effort and time and money into our production to showcase them appropriately. The least we ask is that they send us 2 promos that we can kind of showcase them to the fans and the rest of the world via Twitch and everything to kind of get them in that spotlight. Um, that's that's really the hardest thing I found. I like people to have a resume. I like people to have a highlight reel. And I mean, don't send that match where you're like, oh, scroll through to an hour and 52 minutes, and that's where my match starts. Like, take the time to go through and cut it out and make sure that you're showcasing yourself appropriately. Because sometimes, whenever you give them too much to look at, they'll look away. So, yeah, you gotta get people in that like first. It's kind of like TikTok and stuff nowadays. You got to catch them right away
Yep. Yep.
to retain them to see the rest of the information, right? So.
Absolutely. I have a lady that helps me with my marketing, or telling me how to get my numbers up for YouTube,
Yeah.
Shorts, TikTok, Instagram. People want to see that 30 seconds.
Yes. And that's what we ask a lot of our talent that we work with is we say, send us 30 seconds to a minute. Even if you have a tough time cutting promos, just hit record. Send us all the B-sides too, because you never know what we can edit and splice together. And we're always going to try and make the talent look great because that's our job. We're promoters. We want to promote them to the world.
Absolutely. How involved are the wrestlers in shaping their characters and the storylines that you guys put together?
So it was really interesting. When we bought the company, we had played with this idea of us writing a whole story and building characters and then hiring talent to play those characters, um, which, it can work. But for our location, with the demographic of talents that we have in our region, we kind of came to the conclusion that a lot of these wrestlers have already been trying to build gimmicks. They're already trying to build characters. So for us to ask them to, hey, drop everything you're doing and work our character that we've created, it's a lot of like wasted time and effort on their end already for what they've been building. So we've actually tried to write our storylines to suit the personalities that we're working with currently. So if there's somebody who's that speed demon high off the top ropes, well, we're going to write something in based off the character that we have the ability to book. It just became too cumbersome of asking people to try and change it up after they put so much effort in.
Yeah. So if a wrestler is going to send you a video package and then come to your event, he needs to be the full package. He needs to have solid gear, solid names, solid entry music. Of course, he has to cut a promo.
Yeah,
that's like you said,
minimum two promos.
Right, be professional is what you're asking for.
Yes,
that's awesome, man.
Like again, it's Island Pro Wrestling. It's not Island Amateur Wrestling. It's not like we have a sign-up sheet next to the ring and we're like, okay, now you two guys get in there. We're trying to build something a little bit bigger and showcase like a proper show to the fans. We found that after the first event, the fans are definitely watching what we're doing and ready to call us out at any given moment to be like, hey, that's not exactly right.
Right.
So
yeah.
You get those marks in the crowd that are keeping the IPW creative department responsible for all the decision making we've been doing. So
are you part of the creative?
Yeah, I'm part of the creative. I got to give a shout out to Dwayne Broderick and Adam Doucette. Those guys are really heavy in the creative department there. Really, there's probably 4 out of 7 of us that's focused on the creative. And it's really nice because we have the different personalities of everybody. Dwayne being a wrestler, Adam being a computer and social media guy. Like we can all kind of bounce the ideas off each other and be able to evolve an idea from like a seed to a flower.
So how many hours a week do you
Oh,
put into this? I know I've seen you on I think 4, this one being the 4th, I think, podcast in the last 2 weeks. So
yeah,
I know there's just more than just podcasts, right?
for sure.
How much time each week do you put into this?
I mean, probably more than I want to admit online to the open public, but like as we said, this is a hobby and it's fun for me. I have a busy day to day life. I own a construction company with multiple employees. I own an electrical company. I have 3 children. I got a wife. I got 3 cats. Like
Yeah.
life is busy as it is. So any waking second I get to put into IPW, that's kind of a relaxation thing for me. Even though it is work, it feels like it's rewarding work whenever I'm doing it.
So let's say, hypothetically speaking, August Artois runs into some flight difficulties.
Yeah.
How do you guys adapt to last minute changes like that, if that ever
So
happens?
it's funny, on our very first show, we had a gentleman booked to come, and the day of the event, he was like, "Sorry, I can't make it. My shoulder hurts. I heard it, a week ago, but I was hoping it was going to be better by now." So, I mean, one thing in wrestling that I've learned is it's a constant pivot. You always have to have that backup plan or like something to adjust to overcome. Whenever that gentleman quit, we had Fantana, actually, the Maritime Luchador.
Well,
He's going up against Zane Valentine for a mid card title opportunity here at the next show. He actually pulled double duty for us that night and pulled a performance for our VIP section, which is kind of like a dark match for our VIP people. And then he still performed on the main card too. So shout out to Fantana again for coming through clutch there.
awesome, man. So audience, let's talk about the audience. Who is your target audience? Is it the kids? Are you an adult target? Or who's your target audience?
That's the magic question. Like since we have the board of directors, we've got such a wide variety of different opinions on that. We have people on the board who are saying like, hey, we can keep it all ages and friendly for the children and stuff. Or we have people on the board who are like, let's go to have a death match or like a backyard brawl or things like that,
Yeah.
bringing it to the extremes. So it's really cool that we have that mix of opinions, but we find that we're falling somewhere in the middle where it's like, you know, ECW once WWE bought it. Like we're not really scared to bust out the tables, ladders, chairs. Kind of have that Attitude Era esque personality onto the show. But I mean, there's a little bit of everything for everybody at this point, and we're still finding kind of where we fall in that. When it comes to the creative side of things, we've been really writing things as if there's that guy in the stands who's going to call us out for being wrong. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are we are kind of writing to the marks a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So in in Prince Edward Island, that town, right? What do you get criticism and feedback in it? How do you handle that? Because you got this promotion in their town that you live in. You're a business owner, and obviously they know now you're a promoter of IPW.
Yep.
What kind of criticism and feedback do you get?
I mean, a lot of people have been congratulating me on the new purchase of the company. Um, they see that the previous company was struggling, so they're very happy to see that we're kind of trying to rejuvenate that, and we're trying to bring it to a point where we're bringing in all these names from abroad that people are traveling to Prince Edward Island from out of province to come and take in our event. Like blew my mind at our first event that there was somebody who traveled over 8 hours to come and see our event live. Like that just was like,
Right.
okay, dude, that's awesome. Like get the hell in here and like cheer it up all night, man. Like It touches the heart that there's people in the wrestling community that are so involved in wanting to see it succeed that they're going to travel from 8 hours away to come and see your show that you and your buddies have been working on. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty heartwarming, right?
absolutely. So social media. I'm going to put up a clip for people that are watching. I want them to catch this. I think this is it. This is Island Pro Wrestling's Twitch account.
Yeah.
Go to them. I've been watching their program right now that they got playing on Twitch. Everything you can imagine to a higher tier, in my opinion, indie wrestling show. It's www.twitch.tv/Island Pro Wrestling. Check them out. We're going to continue talking with Justin Summers about Island Pro Wrestling. But check out their Twitch channel. Follow them. Go subscribe to the channel. This guy's their promotions are pretty awesome promotion to watch, and they're from Canada. So
yeah, we've been playing our first event that we did as under new management on the Twitch there. Just in like the week leading up to the event here, people can kind of get a taste of what kind of production value we're putting behind the show. They can see some of the characters that we've been having involved already. Some of these characters are going to be coming back for IPW Game On here this upcoming weekend. So it's a good way to kind of just go back and see what you missed at the first one and be able to just jump on to the second show here and know what's up.
And then you got a YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, we got a YouTube channel as well. I mean, we got Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, X. We're trying to cover as many platforms as possible.
And it's all Island Pro Wrestling.
It's all Island Pro Wrestling. And the day of June 7th, we're going to be streaming it on Twitch. We're going to be streaming it on Facebook Live, and we're going to be streaming it on YouTube Live. So it doesn't really matter what platform you guys are on. You'll be able to stream the event, and we'd love to see everybody join into the chat and let us know your thoughts and opinions on how the night's looking digitally and who the contender match of the night is going to be, because there's so many. I mean, we haven't even got into the match card, but like some of these match cards are, in my opinion, of course I'm biased, but like they're potential matches of the year for our promotion because they're just such standoff matches.
So that was my next place to go. Let's talk about the event this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the card. Who do you got on the card? What do you expect? Who do you expect to be over the top?
It's wild, man. Like the board of directors and I had a call this afternoon, and we are talking about like what's the match of the night going to be, and there's literally a handful of matches there that could be the match of the night. We're kicking off the tournament, and we're going to be doing a tournament over the course of 2 events to search for first new era heavyweight champion. We're going to put the green strap on somebody, and we figured a tournament was the way to do that. So in round 1, we have your boy Augustar Tawa there that we had mentioned. He's going up against Wesley Pipes. And for people who didn't know that they have some history, like I mentioned earlier in the show. Then we have Logan Green going up against the Ghost Ricky Mortis. And if you watch the original event that we did, IPW Takeover on Twitch there, you'll notice that at some point in that segment there, there was some bad blood between those guys. Ricky Mortis ended up coming out with a steel chair to kind of drive Logan Green and the boys out of there. So there's some real bad blood in that match. Then we got TNA veteran Alex Silva. He was also in Ring of Honor and just got back from touring around in Germany for the German Wrestling Federation. He's coming back. He put his name in for the Heavyweight Championship tournament, and he's going up against Giant Orion. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but you go to YouTube and type in Giant Orion Chokeslam, and you'll see that guy's nothing to be messed around with. He's actually one of the only people in the world to knock out Dan Severn.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he comes from an MMA background, and he was one of the 5 people in the world that knocked out Dan Severn. So
Giant Orion.
Giant Orion, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, just by his name, I'm pretty sure you can tell he's not the shortest dude in the world. So
no, he's not.
And then we have Rugged Rick Owens taking on big old Bobby Boyette. That's a powerhouse versus powerhouse match, and it's just going to be one of those matches where we see who's going to break first. So, I mean, those are the four matches we have in the heavyweight title tournament there. But we're also bringing back women's wrestling. We really want to rejuvenate women's wrestling as well in Island Pro Wrestling. So we have a VIP match where we have the ring breaker Karma Rain going up against Stormy Hale. That's going to be one of those dark matches for our VIP people. And then we have a second VIP event there too, where it's going to be Ryan Schimmel versus the Philippine Dream, TJ Miguel, and then the Mauler James Manning in a triple threat match.
Wow.
And a little bit of backside too to IPW Takeover that's streaming on the Twitch there now. Ryan Schimmel was an integral part of that Fatal Four Way on that event, and go back and watch it. That's all I can say. It's a fantastic match, and he was very important in agenting that match and making sure it went off the way it did. And then we're moving into the main card where we have the reigning Prince Edward Island champion Zane Valentine and his manager No Class Eric Bass. They're going for their first title defense against the Maritime Luchador Fantana. So Fantana pulled double duty and automatically became number one contender for getting 2 wins at the very first shows. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a great card, man. It sounds like an amazing night that we. My wife hopefully is not listening, but I said I'm going on vacation. I'm going to take my streaming stuff, and I might be able to stream your event too.
Oh, cool, man! Right on. That's awesome.
I might not be on the screen. I might just play it on my Huge Pop Wrestling podcast channel. But
yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'll try to definitely do that.
And there was another match that we had coming up too. It's that girl Danny Leo and the Vandal Chantel. Both those girls are very experienced in working in the rings, so this is like another reason why we're trying to rejuvenate this women's division here, is because there's such potential in women's wrestling now, especially with the mainstream markets pushing women's wrestling as well, like WWE and NXT. These people are really kind of showcasing women's wrestling. It's more than just kind of like the sex appeal look that they used to try and sell. Like there's quality wrestling happening.
Right. So I have to ask this question because my buddy just got back from SmackDown, and he spent over $700 on 2 tickets to SmackDown. One thing I love about independent wrestling is they tailor to the fans. It's affordable for fans. So, is it affordable for fans to come to your show? What do they expect? What should they expect to come in the door? Do you have concessions? Do you have meet and greets? Do the wrestlers have tables around?
So everything you mentioned and more. That's one thing that I really wanted to do, was the people who are spending their hard-earned money are leaving at the end of the night being like, that was more than my money was worth. They're taking it home. They're talking to their friends. They're saying, hey, we spent, $30 on a general admission ticket to go to the IPW show, and we felt like we got $100 worth of entertainment. Because the last runtime for our event was 3 hours. We had wrestler meet and greets. There was concessions on site. Like, I can't plug our venue enough. The PEI Brewing Company, where we're holding these events, are just fantastic. It's a fantastic venue.
So just walk us briefly on what goes into planning a event like you planning for this weekend.
Oh, probably like 17 different revisions of the same list over and over again. Just kind of making that detail-oriented list of everything you need to be bringing to the venue, making sure that people's travel arrangements and hotel accommodations are taken care of, making sure you got adequate float for the merchandise area, the door, making sure the lighting and the cameras are all set for action. The list goes on and on. Like, even though we had a successful event for our first one there were still some takeaways on the back end that we can always make better and make it more efficient, right? So we're always living, loving, learning, and
Okay.
as long as we keep that mentality moving forward, I think the production and the shows and the fan value is only going to go up.
Okay. So I'm going to do some funny questions. I like throwing funny questions in there. I
Yeah.
think it's just humorous. Let me see. What's harder, booking a talent or explaining wrestling to your non-wrestling friends?
Explaining wrestling to my non-wrestling fan friends. It's awfully hard to explain. Everybody seems who's not into wrestling has this idea that it's all fake, and I have to tell them I was like, it's not fake. It's maybe predetermined, but like when you hit a ring from the top rope, there's nothing fake about that. You're still taking the bump. You're still taking the hit. Like it's an art form through and through of how to do the song and dance and tell the story at the same time. And you can get wrestlers who can go in there and have a match but not tell a story. And then you have wrestlers that go in there and tell a story, and the match is like the least of the minds because everybody was so engaged with the storytelling. So it's definitely harder to explain to a non-wrestling fan because overall my experience with talent has been fairly okay. I haven't had too many blow-ups, so
All right.
yeah.
I asked this question last Sunday to Justin Rondo, sorry, he's down here. He's down in the states. Have you ever cut a promo going through a drive-through ordering your food?
I have not. And I really hope that all of our talent doesn't hear this and start cutting car promos because I'm really trying to deter people from cutting car promos.
All right.
It's one thing that maybe that's like my little thing that drives me nuts. But I hate seeing those promos where Buddy's sitting in the car and he's like, "Oh, I'm
No,
gonna
not
tell
not
you
cutting.
something."
I mean, when you order your food, I asked him if you order your food, does he use promo voice?
Oh, in the promo voice, yeah, I've done
Yeah.
that lots.
Okay.
May, may I have a double cheeseburger?
Yeah. Awesome. If your promotion were a pizza, what toppings would it have, and who would it be the pineapple?
Ooh, I'm a meat and cheese sort of guy, so I like to say a lot of meat and cheese. But what was the question about the pineapple? Who would be the pineapple?
Who would be the pineapple?
Oh, definitely the Deuce. Adam Doucette, one of our board of directors. He would definitely be the pineapple on pizza guy.
All right, one more. If you could legally suplex one person who's made your job harder, who would it be? And would you do it in slow motion for dramatic effect?
Always for dramatic effect. I'm all about the production. So that's first and foremost. And I don't know, like, there hasn't been too many people to make my life very difficult. It's been a lot of support so far, but I mean, if I had to say somebody, I'd say, I don't know, Cody Conway, just because I know he'd love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer working with local talent or bringing talent in from elsewhere?
Mix and match right now. Like we're not so far along to kind of have that data collected on who's easier to work with, but we're definitely doing the mixture of both. Um, one thing I found with the maritime wrestling scene here in Canada is that there's a lot of the same cast members. So even if we wanted to book a certain match, it's probably already been done somewhere else. So by taking new talent in from elsewhere in the world, we're able to like inject some fresh blood into the mix, so we get that excitement back into the match.
Okay. So obviously, when you get a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls together in the backstage, some people might be offended by a way a certain person that's coming to your show this weekend might be acting. Is there something put in place where that can be handled um, with conflicts backstage, if any?
It was actually super cool. I expected maybe that there was going to be some like headbutting or something like that between some talent backstage, but everybody was so excited to be working on our stage that had such great production. that they were actually all back in the green room watching the show live on Twitch
Awesome.
while their brethren were out there in the ring performing. So it was super cool that like the guys were coming back through the curtain and the backstage green room was like, that was an awesome move because we just watched it live on the Twitch. Like,
Yeah. I talk a lot about brotherhood and paying it back.
yeah.
My vision of brotherhood is, you know, you guys are ride and die together. You know, you have each other's back. The guy has to trust somebody
Yes.
to do a suplex.
Yeah.
There's tearing down the ring. There's setting up the ring. Do you, as a promoter, bring that style and that integrity to your promotion? Do you have that expectation of people coming in?
There's not so much the expectation. We have a production crew that sets the ring up to our standard to make sure it's safe for the talent working inside the ring. But we do 100% understand paying your dues and like going the extra mile to kind of earn your stripes. That's one thing I found since buying the promotion that is very indentured in the wrestling culture is the paying of your dues.
Right.
And I've seen it in other promotions where the young talents, the ones tearing the ring down or setting the ring up and stuff like that. I don't expect that, but it's definitely appreciated whenever somebody jumps in and offers that helping hand.
Okay. So give me a name of your rookie that you have, a new to the business that you have in your promotion.
We had the wily TJ Miguel
Okay.
at our last match. He's also at this upcoming event in the VIP section. He's the Philippine Dream. Same thing, like he jumped in and offered to help get things set up. But I mean, we already had it on lock and loads. So I said, dude, just go enjoy yourself so you're well rested and put on the best match of your life. So,
So
um,
do you have, would you like to have the idea that guys like him are backstage and they're willing to listen to guys like August Artois, the guy that's been in the business? Do you have that expectation for your talent to want them to listen and want them to take away from each other?
I mean, it just goes with that word professional. The talent that we have backstage, people like August Artois, people like John O'Ryan, people like Wesley Pipes, people like Fantana. A lot of these guys are indentured into the wrestling industry for a really long time, and just by the reps that they've put in and the hard work along the way, a lot of these young guys look up to them already. So they're already listening to them and they're already asking them for advice. Um, I wouldn't say that I would expect it, but I think that just kind of goes without saying that if you're kind of new and earning your keep, that you're kind of, asking those questions to the veteran guys in the room, being like, hey, what would you recommend? Doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's at least nice to ask somebody's opinion on the matter.
Absolutely. Where do you see Island Pro Wrestling in 5 to 10 years?
I want to be WWE ID recognized. I want to have scouts coming in that I'm booking hotels for the whole weekend because we're doing multi back-to-back shows to showcase a plethora of talent from around the world. I want to be bringing in superstars, not just for the name, but for the showcase. We really want to make IPW a springboard for a lot of people to be notarized in the industry.
Is there a company out there, a promotion out there that you would like to collaborate with down the road?
GCW is pretty cool. I've been following them for a while. There's other promotions that we're stumbling upon every day because I'm constantly doing homework and seeing what other people are doing and like how we could take some of those things and maybe apply them to us or whatever, right?
Absolutely, man. Like I said, my way of collaborating with you guys is I would love to showcase your live promotions on my podcast. So hopefully I'm just gonna get onto those on to bring that promotion to my podcast and share
I'd
it with
love
you.
to have you do a review on one of our shows, man. That would be
Absolutely,
awesome.
yes. And my goal is after the show, I'm going to ask you for some names that I could reach out to because I want to reach out to those guys and get their opinions of this weekend's match after the fact, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
so let me see. All right, so the time is that I want to just thank you, man, for coming on this, for working this all out.
You're gonna make a
Come on.
crazy Canadian blush here, brother.
To come on as HPWP. Do you have any closing remarks that for the fans and for your roster going into this coming week, man?
I mean, I'm working really hard to build a solid wrestling community everywhere I can. Everybody should try and do the same, whether you're a fan, whether you're a wrestler, whether you're just a podcaster loving wrestling. If everybody goes out and supports an indie show, send somebody a message, a vote of confidence goes way farther than you ever think it does. Sometimes people are fighting those silent battles in the background and they just need to hear somebody rally cry for them. So, I mean, just go out, be good people, support your wrestling scene, go to a show. I mean, now you can tune in on Twitch and even support us there, get involved in the chat. I mean, just keep being good people overall and don't be bad. Like,
Right. And now it'll be live. Am I right? Am I hearing you right? It'll be live on Twitch.
yeah, you got it. Yep.
And of course, I'm in the States and it's like 9:06. So I think it's like 11:06 your time.
You got her. Yeah.
What time is it Canadian time that the show is coming on?
So before 30 our time, it'll be 2:30 your time.
2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome, man. Hey, everybody, this is Huge Pop, right? Or Between the Ropes. We just got done talking to IPW, Island Pro Wrestling promoter, Justin Summers. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you took to share about your promotion. Man, I'm so stoked to continue watching that Twitch show I was watching before you came on. And as we always say, in the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, we're HPWP for life, guys.
For life.
Thank you so much.